Welcome back to a new video. So it is about 90 out still and humid, so I'm going to be dealing with sweating a lot, but I would like to get up to just 80 and 110 in singles in the snatch and the clean and jerk. I would like to do the snatches without straps today, so we'll see how those feel. Shouldn't really be too difficult. So it'll be a true no equipment day for those. And then front squats up to 140. And then potentially some pulls. I don't know what I put for pulls, but my legs are thrashed, surprisingly, from the squat reps yesterday. Alright, so I didn't put any pulls, so an easier session today. So it's like my hamstring, but not like my back hamstring. I guess it's probably like my inner quad muscle, but it almost feels like the back of it. It's very odd. It's like cramping and crampy yesterday after I did the squats, which I've done 5x5s. I've done 3 sets of 10. I've done high rep squats before. And what I think, there's a twofold thing I think was the difference. I think the main is that I hadn't done reps in a while, and so that kind of shock to the system is kind of expected. But I'm curious how much not having knee wraps on made that slight difference, because it's not as if there's like 2 inches less of depth that I get with them on, but there is a little bit less because they feel better to have them on as far as being able to bounce out at the bottom. So I think potentially going even deeper, increasing my range of motion, which is already pretty deep in the squat, probably had a greater effect maybe on a muscle that doesn't get stretched to that, I'm going to say such an extreme, but like that little bit of more, in addition to not doing reps for a while. So I'm not exactly sure, but my quads themselves aren't really that sore. It's really like my hamstring, that kind of like inner thigh. I don't know. I don't know all the different, I know there's a couple different muscles, the hamstring and the quad, but that's why I'm not a bodybuilder, because I don't know, or nor I do. I once knew a little bit more than I do now about the different muscles and stuff, but it's not really relevant when the function of them all do the same thing for my sport. If I was a bodybuilder and wanted to make one in particular bigger, then it would be more important to know the specific ways to work them with different movements and functions. But if I'm squatting, they're all, your quad muscles are flexing and extending in a very similar fashion on all of them. And it's not as if, like how I'm built well for deadlifts, it's not as if I'm built to squat well a certain way that's based on my muscle structure or one quad muscle being stronger than the other. It's more, just the general biomechanics that I have. But we'll see how I was doing with nothing. I sat in a squat for a little bit. I got about 8,300 steps today, so not over 10K. I'll probably go on a walk later. I'm kind of making that a rule with kind of my cardio load each day, to either do like 100 calories on the bike. Like yesterday it was storming, so I just did stationary biking to kind of accommodate for like the steps that I didn't really need to get because I was just working without students. And then today, since I got more, I just go on a walk and accumulate the 10K. So I kind of give myself a choice of that, and it's not as if I'm trying to get my heart rate up to 200 to do some cardio, but just to mostly just burn as much energy as possible, since I'm trying to gain weight, and to make it a relatively consistent amount of energy that I'm burning each day. So there's not some days where I get 7,000 steps at work and then don't do anything, and other days where I get 10,000 and do a lot extra. But nothing hurts, just really sore. Mostly my legs, so just nice. Low back and stuff isn't really, it actually feels better than it did the other day. Which that was kind of had some DOMs and stuff in it, but we'll see how today feels. Tomorrow should be a really light day. Theoretically, we'll do it in the morning. I probably won't, because I'll probably feel pretty sore, but then Saturday would be the quote-unquote heavier day. But I guess use today as a calibration day. Ooh. I did 3x2 pull-ups and then a set of 4 they're relatively, instead of 4 didn't feel super easy. And then I did kind of like a modified V-up. I'm not super strict with them. It's mostly just to flex the top and the bottom of my abs. You know, you bring your feet up and your hands up to meet them, just to work the whole ab area. I feel like the setups were working too much of my top abs and I wasn't getting enough of my lower abs activated on those. So V-ups are kind of good for just working everything. But just did some reps on those, and today was the first day with students, and it was only half of them, so it really wasn't too bad. It's kind of funny to have like 7 or 8 kids in a class, but that's what it'll be tomorrow, and then Monday will be full go with, I mean, there'll be some classes that aren't there, but like the classes I do have will be full, so that will be nice. What I was kind of thinking would happen during these next couple weeks, as I kind of build back the squat and the strength volume, is that the weightlifting movements probably won't change too much. I think I probably talked about this in a video a year ago, but like I'll keep working up to similar weights. Potentially we'll add more volume at those weights, but not really any intensity, and try to aggressively push the strength work, and then treat the Saturdays like the intensity day. And then keep trying to build the volume during the week. Keep trying to get to a higher intensity on the Saturdays. And then once, you know, I get stymied on the Saturday session with going heavier, to adjust what I do during the week with either, you know, maybe decreasing the volume for a little bit and going back to kind of what I'm doing this week, or increasing the intensity a little bit. It's really by feel. I think inevitably during the week, as I start to, you know, feel good, which I don't even necessarily feel bad, it's just kind of like sore, but, you know, as the lifts become too easy, then I'll just want to increase the load. Not too bad. I mean, the source is my lat, which honestly that is getting better too, so I do think it's adapting to doing all of the pull-ups and stuff. So I think that area improving will just make all the lifts just feel better. And it's not flaring up either. So I think, you know, having the days where I do like the max reps on the pull-ups are still fine, but I'm not trying to do, you know, insane volume in them. So I think that is probably a smart decision. We'll do a tactical reset before I do 60. 60 yesterday I randomly kind of missed, but that was really just laziness. It was nice with even the 40. It's like my wrist and everything felt good. We'll see with the heavy weights, but that will be another thing that's nice as well, is have nothing on during the week as far as, you know, wrist supports, knee supports, and then the Saturday session can be the one where I add some of those supports in, add a little bit of intensity, and then go back to, you know, being fully natty during the week. Make these lifts as hard as possible with the lightest load possible. Then do 60 here. also think the pull-ups as well not only will help make my upper body stronger, but make some of the help with the mobility. That one also felt really good too. Only thing is just a little bit of that back tightness, but nothing that's really getting worse or anything. If anything, it feels better than yesterday. My lockout, I don't know how to describe it. It feels more locked out. Granted, the weight's light, but I think it's also just a little bit further behind my head when I'm catching it. Part of me is like, maybe I'll want to go up to 90 or whatever. And I was like, I'll just save it for Saturday. Like, I'd rather focus on doing a good lift, especially without straps. I do think there are some technical benefits to not having straps on snatches, and like making sure that you're more balanced. I like the straps. You can really get, wretched into the bar and then start to just do kind of weird things. So hook grip does, or just no straps, can help iron some of those things out. I think make your pull a little bit more connected to the bar and not as yanky and herky-jerky. But we'll do 80 here, and then probably just honestly do 70 and 110. Like, just do those same jumps with the clean jerks. That one was a little crackly. Felt a little bit in the knee and quad tendon. Wrists were, that's where the wrist wraps help, that kind of floppiness. But similar to what I've been talking about, throughout these sessions, is like, just, keep that weight the same, and then try to do it better the next time. And to know, like, that's not like I can't fix the, the instability of the wrist. I can put the wrist wraps on. That kind of is like the quick fix with it, but gives me things to think about and to work on without making anything too difficult from a recovery standpoint. Almost I can't get this plate off. But I think the pull-ups as well will help with the just free grip work. And I feel like it's more specific. Like, I was using the grippers and I kind of stopped for a while. And it's not like my wrist got worse after this. Like, my wrists are going to be achy anytime I don't have any wrist wraps on. But I think just doing them without, because I would do them with straps like I do pulls, strap on the pull-up bar to do them. And when your hands are really chewed up from lifting, that can be nice. Or if your grip's really bad, or if you're doing like bar hangs. That's it. Like, I always see like Zach Tellender is like hanging from the bar for a minute. It's like, I'm sure that's a great stretch, but like, that's going to be a really difficult grip exercise for me to do. And because it's such a difficult grip exercise, I'm not going to be able to relax into that stretch. I'm going to be flexing. My muscles are just going to flex because they have to. But when you use straps, that can really, and I think maybe he mentioned that, I've seen different versions of it in different places, so I want to speak out of turn with that. But like, having straps on it is really nice because you can really relax into that stretch, and it can feel really nice. But we'll do our couple clean jerks and then a couple front squats and be out of here. Very curious how these, mostly I guess the jerks, the cleans will feel fine. But I also think like getting sore in a joint is not the end of the world. I think that doing these lifts without any sort of supportive equipment on, to be honest, my legs are actually responding really well to them. Like, I don't really have any achiness, but like my wrists in particular, they're pretty achy, especially when I'm like in that full flex position. And I think just getting into that position more frequently without that extra support will help just increase their strength and tolerance, which inevitably, when I put the supports back on, will make those work better. And also kind of forces me to be limited in what I lift. So, I mean, that's what's also nice on these sessions. I'm getting technical work, I'm feeling things to work on, and I know Saturday it's like, well, I did 80 today, so I know Saturday I can do definitely 90, maybe even 100. Probably could do even more, but like, you know, between 90 and 100 will be good weights to do, and try to make them move well, and then treat that as kind of the benchmark that I'm trying to beat each week. And could even do things like waves and stuff, but I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to use straps on Saturday or not. I might treat it as like a, you know, classic quote-unquote max out day, even if the weights are pretty light. But we'll go ahead and do 70 and 110 now. I'm holding my jerk a little bit different without the wrist wraps on. It's a little bit similar to when I hyperextended my thumb several months ago in my house when I missed the hang clean by falling backwards like a buffoon. But I kind of had to let most of the weight kind of sit on my chest and kind of have my elbows a little bit lower. I feel like I'm doing that a little bit now, but it's not too extreme. I also don't like holding it in that front rack because that's where it's most uncomfortable. And so it's forcing me just to do the jerk. Yeah. No waiting around. Which, to be honest, I'd rather do jerks like that than sit there and, you know, really try to get the feel for it. Just have it up there and just be like, I gotta go, and just go. But to be honest, I'm very surprised and happy with how my body's been responding to this kind of like no equipment training during this week. I think thankfully, you know, I've been managing the load well, so it hasn't been, you know, unbearable to do. Like, felt really good. Half at the top, I'm not even worried about press or anything, I'm just worried about just do the lift. We'll do a tactical reset because I'm gonna get the squat rack set up. We got the bar all set up. We're just gonna do 70, 120, 140. I don't think I'll want to do any more. If it feels particularly good, we'll jump to 160. But 140 I'd be happy with. So no point in procrastinating it. I guess that's the other kind of weird thing is like because the weights aren't that difficult, I'm not like really like, oh no, it's gonna feel hard or whatever. It's like it might feel a little hard, but mentally it's easier. I guess in a sense I'm just doing a deload week, but still training every day. It was like the most pain-free squat I've ever done in my life. Oh, that was really weird. It felt so pain-free, it was confusing. I'm not going to question it though. I was still about the same body weight. I think I was like 236 this morning. I think especially like since I'm not dieting hard and I'm not really withhold. I'm still eating whenever I want. I'm just not trying to overeat, which isn't really that big of an adjustment, but I think it will definitely take longer for me to start losing weight. But I think even now, like the fact that I'm hit 234 once this morning, earlier this week, and then was 236 a couple times, shows me that I'm losing a little bit, and it's slow, which is how you want to lose weight ideally. So if you cut it really fast, you're not really losing like actual mass that's like fat or anything. Mostly just water when you lose weight really rapidly, which you just gain back once you start eating normally. So I don't want to do any sort of crazy thing. Plus, like, you know, I don't want to. I'm already like snatching 80 and doing 110 most these days. Like, I don't want to have everything just hurt and feel terrible. But I don't know. We'll keep doing what I'm doing, and if training continues to go well, then I'll just keep doing what I'm doing as far as eating, and maybe I lose weight really slow or hardly at all. But I'd always rather train well, and if the lifts are feeling good, then I don't need to feel the need to lose weight. But especially quickly. Inevitably I will if I only eat when I'm hungry, unless my metabolism just magically slowed down. But I don't think my body's been magic lately. This one might feel a little bit more eggy. We'll see though. Slower, but just as easy. Which you already know I'm not following my own. They can't even follow my own words from 10 seconds ago. We're doing 150 for a single. But this will be the top set. It's like a reward for feeling good on the 2 warm-up sets. Gonna get all this chalk on because I'm so sweaty. I imagine this will feel pretty difficult, but yeah, the 120 felt basically the same as 70 as far as the, you know, I guess it felt heavier, but like the joint, I guess, response. So we'll do this 150 and then get about 1,700, 1,500 more steps, and then I'll be at the Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028. I think that's all it takes, right? All right. Yep. That was really heavy. So I probably could have fought it a little bit more, but I felt it going forward, and I didn't want to take myself out of position that much. So that will be the goal to do next time. Kind of weird because like 120 felt fine, but I think I didn't have enough gusto, and that's probably where my leg soreness is in. So unfortunate, but it's an easy mark to achieve next week when I do the session. Get all these dumb plates off. It definitely felt heavier unracking it, but I don't know. Certainly odd. But I definitely feel like if I just did it again and tried harder, I could. I just don't really want to go through that effort. I don't think a 150 front squat's worth it right now. So just a little bit. I think I might have put some front squats on Saturday. Put my old man glasses on. Yeah, I put front squat reps, but probably just do more singles on that day. Maybe triples, we'll see. But I'll have another opportunity to push front squats on Saturday. So I'm not too disappointed in that. And who knows what I put for tomorrow. I put front squats tomorrow, and I put 70. I put 70, 100, and 120. So I might just try 150 again tomorrow, but we'll see. That's gonna be it for this one, though. Trying my head down. There we go. That's gonna be it for this one. I'll talk to you on the next one. Have a great day. Peace.